All right, folks, we're back. As I mentioned last video, disassembly is done with the main engine. Today we spent some time cleaning some parts and also working on some of the components. So before me here, I have two distributors. Now, we talked a little bit about the ignition system before. The R-755-9 had a civilian equivalent known as the L4MB. That's Mike Bravo. And the reason the Mike Bravo was because of the ignition system. The Dash 9 had one magneto and then one of these, a distributor. I've got two of them. The engine typically only had one. Standard practice of the day was that engines had a dual ignition system, whether that was two magnetos independent of each other, or in this case, one magneto and then one battery powered distributor. So I've got the distributor here. We're going to work on the magneto and maybe the oil pump next week, but today it's all about the distributor. So I've got, again, two of them. They're a little bit different, particularly the capacitors in this one. This one is a different kind of capacitor than this one. So also in the back we've got, this is an adapter, and this is actually the head that kind of holds or the contacts for this arm to actually discharge that spark. So again, these distributors were powered by the aircraft battery, and essentially these fit on the accessory gear we talked about in the last video, the accessory gear housing. And this is the bevel gear that drove it, and this essentially, the gear would turn like this, and what it would do is, if you look inside here, we have a set of contacts right there. There's a small gap in there. Well, actually there isn't a gap there, but there isn't supposed to be. Anyway, when the engine is turning, we see this thing turn, and then you see that it makes a gap in there. There's supposed to be a clearance, 0.016 inches or 16 thou. And so what happens is, we have a ground essentially right now, and when these contacts open, a spark is discharged, and it's actually sent up by this arm to one of these leads. And these leads, they go down, there's an entire wire stack that comes out of here. These are the leads that came with one of them. They've all been cut when it was removed from the engine, so we're going to get new ones. But this is where that ignition energy would travel down these leads and end at one of the spark plugs. I don't want to misspeak, but I'll find out later. But the distributor powered either the front spark plugs right here or the rear spark plugs. I don't remember which. So I'm not going to swear to one right now, but the magneto powered all of the front or all of the back, and then the distributor here powered all of the front or all of the back. And again, I don't remember which is which at the moment. So anyway, this is kind of how the system would work. It would rotate around, and eventually you'd get a gap, which would cause a spark to jump, and then of course you'd have your ignition for energy. So we're going to get to cleaning these both up. Obviously one of them's going to be incomplete, so I've only got one adapter and then one of the distributor caps. So one will be donated to the museum just for the technology, just so they can have it, spare parts, whatever. And the other one is going to be completed, restored, and then installed on the engine. So should be fun.